Hello, everyone. Let's do something else controversial because why not? I feel like being honest and telling you guys the things that I've learned and the things that I have learned, honey, in a year of solitude by myself in the freaking woods in a 700 square foot box. Okay, listen. I went a whole year basically not talking to anyone. I know that sounds really excessive. It is excessive, actually. As I say it now, I'm like, wow, psychopaths do that. So anyway, the only people I talked to were basically people online, my semi-friendly neighbor, which still confuses me, his intentions, but mainly just bugs, butterflies, and yeah, my spirit team. So in 1 year of being here, I have learned so fucking much, okay? I went no contact with my family in 2021. No contact, like at all. I spoke to my mom via text for 10 minutes one time since then. And it was like a month after I saw her the last time. My family, my friends, my circle. I went through a divorce in 2019. I lost my pets as well. They had to stay with him. I moved into my parents' spare bedroom after my divorce because I didn't have money or a job to sustain myself. So I had actually not worked for 5 years due to codependency in a narcissistic marriage. And though I love him, he loves me. We're actually right now in the 5D mending a lot of things, not to get back together, but in forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness happening in our dreams right now, which is so beautiful. Anyway, I kind of just wanted to share about my weird lifestyle because I have a weird lifestyle. Okay, mine's weird. I'm a minimalist. I own like 10 pairs of pants and like 10 shirts, and I don't have a pet. I don't even have a goldfish. I own 2 pairs of shoes, and I'm one of those crunchy granola type. I use salt as deodorant. I believe that we are all connected and we are all one. We are all source. I believe that our minds are creating our reality. I just believe some weird things. Okay. And I have a lot of insight to share, but I was mainly afraid I'd never be able to find the right people to share with. But I kept hearing my spirit team lately say, build it and they will come. So that is exactly what I'm doing. I am putting it out there to the universe. I live totally different than most people. And just sharing my story, I guess, in hopes that other people would be like, yeah, no, I get it. I get that. Let's talk. Let's be friends. Because I have been in hermit mode for about 10 years. And this all started when I had an out-of-body experience. I met a being of light. I meditated. It was not expected that I would meet a being of light while I was out of my body. In fact, I started meditating simply to get off anxiety medications. I was on antidepressants, antipsychotics, and anxiety medications. And while at work, I worked at a call center making $7 an hour. And I talked to my Wiccan friend. She was a witch. She had like a Ouija board, pendulums, the whole thing. She actually was a tarot reader. She got paid to be a tarot reader at a bar on like Wednesday nights or something. It was so crazy. I was like, so you're like a witch, like you're one of those real ones, right? And so she and I were the only two working third shift. She would tell me everything she knew because I was open to it. I was finally open to it. At about 21 years old, I was finally open to hearing about witchcraft. Until then, I was Christian. I was Pentecostal. My grandparents ran a church. My grandparents were the pastors at the church that I was raised in. So, I mean, I was there 3 to 4 times a week, learning piano, studying the Bible, or being in the plays. I was always the lead in the plays, and I loved Jesus. I couldn't love witches. I loved Jesus. Jesus was my home skillet, and I could not ever be convinced otherwise. But at 16 years old, I left the church because I started asking questions. Like, okay, one of the ones I asked my grandmother was, how come only the people in the New Testament get to know Jesus? What about the Old Testament? All those people had to suffer? You're telling me they're just chilling in their graves one day, just waiting for Jesus to come back. Like, that's not even fair. They were so devoted too. And she's like, yep, that's right. One day Jesus is just going to come by, touch them, and they're just going to rise from the dead. And of course, literally speaking, I was terrified. Like, bro, you're telling me that they're just going to, I don't know, be like The Walking Dead. And then, of course, you see the show The Walking Dead, and that gets confirmed. Zombies are going to run the world. And I, of course, as a kid, you see that in that way. And you're like, wow. So, like, Jesus is actually scary. Yeah, he creates the zombies then, is what you're saying, right, Grams? Yes. He comes back, and he makes everybody rise up. And I'm just like, there is no way. That doesn't seem right to me. So at 16, about 13 years old, I started asking questions. But then in the next 3 years-ish, those questions went unanswered, or those questions started to get progressively deeper, a lot deeper, and the answers started to be a lot more shallow. And it eventually got to a point where my grandma was like, listen, you keep asking questions. You're going to go upstairs during Sunday school, because I was the oldest in the youth group. And I was starting to, in her words, convince the kids of something different. So I would ask questions during the youth group, and she was like, nah, we're not having that. Absolutely not. Go upstairs to your grandfather. That is where you need to be, up there. So I'd go upstairs during Sunday school, and I'd sit in the pew, and I'd be like, whatever, it's stupid. And my mom would be there. She'd be like, you be quiet. This is Jesus time. And yeah, my grandpa, he was always teaching literalism. And I couldn't get into it, I just couldn't. Like, I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that a man didn't exist in a fish for 3 days, but did he though? Did he? A fish. It wasn't even a whale. Like, I could kind of see it with a whale, but a dude living in a fish for 3 days. I don't know. I just started to really question things. And my grandpa, God bless him, he never even questioned why I was up there. He was just excited to see me. I love my grandpa. He was just like, oh, she's back again, in front of the entire congregation. So he would be like tailoring the message to kind of convince me that he was right and his truth was right. But I never could believe him. I never could. So at about 13 years old, started asking questions. And by 16, I couldn't take it anymore. I knew that there was something wrong. I felt it in my spirit. I knew it when I would witness people convulsing, or I would watch someone fall on the floor with their flags and their tambourines. I would watch them convulse on the floor. And I'm like, okay, I get the Holy Spirit is really active here today. But do we have to scare little children? Like I don't know. I was waiting for the comforter, The Holy Spirit, aka the comforter. I don't know. I was just waiting for the comforting part. So I started asking questions, and about 16 years old, I said, Mom, I can't go there anymore. I can't do it. I don't think so, little missy. That is your grandmother. You are going to church, and you're gonna like it. Nah, I'm not gonna like it. If I go, fine, but I'm not gonna like it. So, about 16 years old is when I really had my first emancipation proclamation. Not legally, but I did want to be emancipated at 16 years old because I just didn't belong in my family. I don't belong here, bruh. Send me home. So at 16, I left the church. I told my mom I'm never going back. And of course, it was my grandparents. So I went back like a couple times. There was always Easter and then at Christmas, you know, because it's your grandparents too. Like, you don't want to just completely go off the grid. You can't. You still have to, you know, you still have to like be normal in a family that's normal. So I couldn't really truly leave it. But about 16, I made it a statement. I'm not going back. See, I'm not going back. And from 16 years old to about 21-ish, I actually didn't even believe in God. I actually started to think that it was all a joke. It was all make-believe. It was a farce. They were all lying to us. Preaching some watered down gospel about like how the flood happened and like they're gonna flood your family if you and God will come down with fire and brimstone if like you eat shellfish. I don't know. There was just like a whole list of things, you know? So 21, I got this job and it was this Wiccan was working next to me and she was a witch. And I remember she was like, yeah, like, are you into that? Like, do you dabble? I'm like, oh, no, honey, no. No, that's witchcraft. That's of Satan. That's the devil. And she was like, it's literally not. I'm literally not the devil. And I first, because of my programming, I was like, you know what? I love you. I actually think you're really cool, and I love working with you, but I don't want to talk about this stuff. So she left it alone. She was cool about it. We didn't talk about the Ouija board really that much. We did it first because she was a medium as well. So she could connect with people who had crossed over. And she would like tell me about spirituality. But I was like, nah, let's just talk about something else. So she kind of got the hint. At first, she pulled back a little bit and she was like, no problem. Let's just talk about this. So I've got a brother and she told me about her life story. I told her about mine, and I just became friends with her. And then one day, I asked her, how do you stay so peaceful? How? It's gonna make me cry, actually. I said, how don't you care that people don't people call you names? I wanted to ask cool questions. I wanted to know stuff. Don't you care that people call you names? Does your family care that you're a witch? Like, how? I didn't know I had gifts. I didn't at the time have gifts. I didn't think that I had gifts. I said, don't you care that people are gonna call you a whole bunch of names? I mean, like, burn the witches, you know, hashtag burn the witches. Don't you care about that? And she literally told me, I'm going to be accepted for who I am because I accept me for who I am. And it really just resonated. She was so proud of it. She was so proud. She wasn't even really the first witch in her family, actually. I think that she was the first one to be vocal and out loud about it, but she was not the first at all to be like, full on practicing. And I remember I asked her, I said, I'm on so many medications. I'm literally on medications to get off of medications. I, at one point, had suffered side effects that were so bad from some of my antidepressants that I had to get on sleeping meds to counteract the antidepressants. And I said, what about you? Do you take any? What therapist do you go to? Where are you going? Because they obviously know what the fuck they're doing, because she was really happy. And she was just free and authentic and got to do whatever she wanted to do. She was so fucking free. She's like, nah, I don't take meds. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why? Isn't everybody on those? Back when I was 21, everybody was on medication for anti-anxiety, trying to stay up, drinking those 5-hour energies. I was like trying my best to combat insomnia with drinking more caffeine after the sleeping pills would keep me groggy in the morning. And she's like, all I do is meditate. Nah, I can't do that though. I can't do that. The whole meditation thing. I can't do that, man. She was like curious as to why I couldn't do it. And I said, because it's the doorway to devils. I said, my parents, they told me that meditation, what they do in the Eastern mystics, they do over in Asia, and you know, they do over there. They don't do it in the States. They do it over there. And she's like, yeah, why do you think they're so fucking happy over there? I don't know. And then she told me how to do it. She told me how to meditate. And I called my mom the day the day of this conversation. It was like the night after my shift. And I said, Mom, this woman, okay, she's super cool. We're like best friends. Honestly, she's amazing, Mom. But here's the thing. She actually suggested I meditate. She said it would help me with my anti-anxiety. She said that I could get off my pills. She didn't say I could get off my pills, but she insinuated that one day maybe. I mean, she's not a doctor. And guys, I'm not a doctor. But she was like, Jenna Lynn. That's what my mom always, oh my God. Jenna Lynn, I don't fucking think so. That is the doorway to devils. You already know it. You already know what's going to happen. You will let Satan into your life. I was like, Mom, please, mother. Don't you get it, Mom? Satan's already in my life through big pharma. I don't think so. Jenna Lynn, you better not. And I was 21 years old, mind you, a complete freaking adult, and I was living with my boyfriend at the time. So I'm like, listen here, lady. I'm a grown-ass woman. I'll do whatever I damn well please, because I got a Wiccan as my best friend. So, you know, yeah, take that, Mom. Anyway, my mom's like, don't you dare. You better not. So she's like, I'm going to call your grandmother. Did I mention I was 21 and an adult? Did I mention that? Yes. I mean adult, as in over 18. I mean making my own choices and my own money. That's what I meant. 21 years old, and my mom's like, okay, you wanna play that game? I'll call you right back. So she hangs up the phone. An hour later, she calls back. So I talked to your grandmother. The pastor. You better not do it. I'm telling you right now, that is the doorway to Satan. You are going to let devils into your mind. You better not meditate. My mom didn't know any better. My grandmother didn't know any better. Nobody knew any better. We had never been taught anything besides mainstream religion. We never knew any of that. Like the whole mysticism or perhaps the Bible isn't literal, maybe it's allegory. Nah, you couldn't even suggest such a thing back then. So I meditated. I tried it about 3 times. Third time, boop, popped out of my body. Had no idea you could do that. No idea. Actually, in fact, I thought that you could only do that when you were dying. I thought out-of-body experiences and like meeting your maker was literally something that only happened on your deathbed. No, that's for real. I did think that. I thought that when you die, you could meet God and stuff, but I didn't know you could do it during meditation. Again, I did not meditate to see God. I meditated to get the fuck off anti-anxiety medications. So I had an out-of-body experience. I'll share that in another video someday. And it was 30 seconds long. It lasted about 30 seconds. I was in my body, but out of it at the same time. I was in 2 places at once. Anyway, I told my friend, and I called her after it happened. I ran downstairs and I told my boyfriend, who then turned into my husband. I told him about it. And to this day, I still don't know that he believes me. Oh well, doesn't matter. It happened. Point is, I called my friend, the witch. I said, honey, hunty, something went wrong. I said, listen, I don't know what the you did to me. Something went wrong. You said I was just supposed to calm my thoughts, and you said to breathe in pluses and exhale minuses. That's all you said to do, right? Something went wrong, honey. Something went wrong. Something went way wrong. And she's like, okay, let's go to lunch tomorrow and we'll talk about it. So I meet her at the restaurant and I tell her, I'm like, listen though. I met God. I met God. I met God. Literally God. And as she sips her drink, she's like, damn, I've been doing this shit for 10 years and I never got there. And I'm like, what do you mean there? What do you mean there? I get there. What the fuck are you talking about? You told me that I could maybe get off Zoloft. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, I think you experienced, nirvana, whatever you call it, transcendental, alpha. I think you experienced the alpha. I'm like, you are lying to me. You are the devil. You are the devil. Basically, this is when I started to believe my parents over my friend. She's just sipping her cocktail like it didn't even faze her. She's just like, yeah, no, I've been doing this 10 years and I could never even get there. And you did it 3 times? 3 times, Jenna. And you got there? I don't know, man. All I know is you told me that if I just look at my thoughts, that I will get off antidepressants. I didn't know that I could meet God. This is horse shit. So anyway, went through the dark night of the soul. It initiated the dark night of the soul, which ironically opened the door to devils. No, but that is true though. It did happen. I mean, not in the way my parents thought it would. My grandparents and my mom. Yeah, not like that. But it did open some sort of doorway. And I went through hell on earth. Quite literally. Absolutely 1000% literal. I went through hell on earth. I basically, during that out-of-body experience, and I was only out of my body for 30 seconds, I got kicked out of heaven. In the experience itself, which I'm gonna share, I think, because it's just so fun talking about this right now. In that experience, it was pure bliss, pure nirvana. It was with a true unconditional source of love. But then I thought bad thoughts. Boom, got kicked out instantly. As soon as I thought, oh, well, I hope this lasts. I hope this doesn't I hope it doesn't end. It's too beautiful. I don't want it to end. Boom, I got kicked out. So I've been literally kicked out of heaven for 10 years. I'm only just now seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm only just now starting to believe again that there is something out there that wants my good, my goodness, my success. Because again, I went through so much sadness. I lost so much. I went through the dark night of the soul. I lost everything. I lost my husband, my dogs in a divorce. I gained 200 pounds. I hated after this event, I gained 200 pounds in my marriage. It was horrible. I lost my driver's license. I wasn't even able to drive at one point. I had agoraphobia. I couldn't even look at people. I couldn't even look at my neighbors. I was afraid to even go off my doorstep. I started to see shit in the Bible changing. I started to see the Mandela effect. The sun changed color. I started to lose my mind. But I'm realizing I never lost it. When I speak like this, I start to believe maybe I have, but I have a sound mind. And it's I really now, what I want to do is I want to share my story online for all of you who are right now trapped in that. You're trapped in agoraphobia. You're bro, 2020 and 2021 happened and I don't fucking want to leave my house. I get that. I totally get that. And also too, a lot of you who suffered religious persecution, I totally get that too, in your own family. and then you see truth and believe that it is true, and then you're hated by your family because you believe it. What I want this channel to be about, I don't know, is, I guess, fellowship. I really want to find the ones who know truth, but they were made to believe that their truth was wrong. Oh, it was never wrong. Oh, no. It was never wrong. It was never wrong, never wrong, never wrong, never wrong. It was just scary, and people didn't understand scary. People were terrified of scary. So you know a truth, right? You know that truth, whatever it is. Some of you see fairies. I don't know, some of you work with the fae. Some of you actually see angels. Some of you can literally communicate with the dead, like whatever it is. And I guess intrinsically what I want, I just want to find those that want to find truth, you know? I want to find more people like my friend. Sadly, her and I, during the dark night of the soul, I couldn't have anybody speaking truth to me. See, that's the thing. Her and I split up. I left the job because I had to go through the dark night of the soul. So I actually lost my job. I lost all my jobs. I was working multiple jobs, like one after another, and I had to lose them all. And my husband had to completely support me. But that was because I had to go through the spiritual awakening. I had to be 100% devoted to the spiritual nature of things. I couldn't be in the 3D working on that. I had to be working on the esotericism. But that was my soul plan. That's what I came here to do. And I guess my intentions now, I want to be that person online that is there for easy access for anyone to contact and see and you know, believe that you will get out of the dark night of the soul, that it is not a permanent thing. It is only for you to know who you truly are. My intentions for this channel, for all of my channels that I've had, because I started multiple in this 10 years that I've been on my journey. Like, it wasn't even just on YouTube I started channels. I actually started other platforms to find other people who believed in the Mandela effect, who were also very much lost and needing to find their way too. Like, I've been trying my best to create communities where people who are abnormal can feel normal. But it failed. It failed. And the other video that I just posted on Joyously Jenna, that channel on YouTube, that failed, that I felt failed. That was me expressing how I just broke a generational curse, which was failing everything I ever start. So like, even these communities that I wanted to make and bring in like all these beautiful people who are like-minded soul members, like soul family members, I had to fail them. I failed at all those projects. They failed. I didn't think I was deserving and worthy yet of finding my true soul family. And now I'm breaking those generational curses. One of the parts of that curse was that you have to feel alone. You have to feel like everybody hates you. You have to feel like every project you ever start will fail. That was the point of my generational curse. It's like, you can't actually be a woman, independent woman, speaking up about anything abnormal in my family. You can't do that. So I failed. I failed at it. And now Spirit is telling me I don't have to fail. I can succeed if I want to. If I want this next phase to succeed, it can succeed, but I have to want it. And it's like, after so much failure, it's that wanting it again. Like, do you think I could maybe ever want it again after having seen so much fail for 10 years? I have no other choice. I have to try. I have to try yet again. And this time, maybe it will work. But I have to give my whole heart to this project. I have to give my whole heart to finding my soul family, finding this tribe, these lost sheep, right? The lost sheep of Israel. Like, that's what we are. We are lost sheep being found. But it's like, I have to give my all to this. And it's so scary, guys. It's so scary because I've been assaulted online for 10 years in sharing my testimony. I've been told I'm a Jezebel spirit, I'm a Satan worshiper, I'm a demon worshiper. My favorite was being called Alex Jones's daughter, which, that was fun. That one was fun. But then the ones like, I want to burn you at the stake, that wasn't so fun. Or someone telling me that they wish they were alive during the Crusades so they could have killed me themselves. That wasn't so fun. That shit is not so fun. Or having dox threats, that's not so fun. But I now know that I have a different kind of story, I guess, to share with the world. And I guess since no one listened to me all this time, again, generational curse, I thought it meant that my story isn't that special, or it's like it's not worth listening to. It's not worth hearing. But really, now that I look at it, like, my life is a shit show. My life is honestly so different than most people. I'm like, I'm doing a crime to humanity by not sharing this stuff. So I want to do it. Might I fail again? It's possible. But I kind of don't care. I don't know. I have no other choice but to give it my all. I want to help you. I want to put myself out there in front of the world and share my story, my testimony. It's bonkers. Yes. Do I claim to know God personally and have seen him? Yes. Is it fucking weird? Yes. But it is truth. It did happen to me. And I want to be able to help people who need the help, because I know what it's like to be trapped in your house, afraid to go anywhere, afraid to love anybody, afraid of what you're seeing in the Bible changing, the Mandela effect, being afraid to talk about that shit, being afraid to talk about how the sun changed colors, being afraid to talk about what they're putting in your water supply, your food supply, seeing all this shit, all the truth. And like not having anyone to validate that you are not crazy. I know what that's like. And I guess it's time. I have nothing to lose at this point. I think that's the beauty of it, is I've lost so much, you have nothing to lose anymore. I don't even have a goldfish. Like, I'm not going to lose anything by doing this. My life, perhaps. I don't care. At this point, I don't give a shite. I don't give a shite as long as my soul feels whole, as long as I feel like I am guided by my higher self and I am doing the shit that I want to do. And what that means is helping those who feel right now that they cannot find help. My intentions for building this platform, this channel, is to have fellowship with like-minded people. If you are weird, you are different, you believe in crazy shit, okay? You're not weird, you're not different. And you don't believe in crazy shit, you believe in truth. And I kind of just want to be here to validate you in that. Validate your experience. The weirder, the better. You've seen aliens? Cool, me too. Like, hit me up. Let's talk about it. You claim to see angels? So do I. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. Like, I have seen so much. And I just think it's about time I put myself out there to share it with the world. I want to, even if no one hears it, even if it's just me hearing it, it's liberating for my soul. It's like I suffered 10 years for this shit. I at least want to get my story out there. So anyway, that's what my intentions are for this channel, to find like-minded people who get it. You get truth because you are the truth. And if you're afraid to share the truth, it's okay. It's okay, I'll share it for you. Tell me, I'll share it for you, anonymously, Some of you might talk about how you have, I've had people come to me and say that they literally see things. They see things like angels and fairies and stuff. People have told me that. I don't want to be witnessing what I went through in someone else. That persecution that I faced. No. I want a warm and welcoming place for people of love to come together and have fellowship. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to share my story, and that's going to be my testimony. This is a channel where I'm sharing my testimony from God. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.